absolutely breathtaking, totally captivating, simply enchanting, gobsmacking, as the Brits would say, totally spectacular, and utterly awesome. And that's only 6 out of over 100 synonyms that I could be using for this awesome place that's only a 10-minute walk from the Sagrada Familia. For me, Sant Pau Hospital was the most interesting place to visit in Barcelona. No, I wasn't sick, but this would have been the place to be if anyone were sick. It's beautiful, it's spiritual, and it's inspirational. The hospital was created in 1401, and so for 600 years, this charitable institution has treated the sick with only donations from the public. My phone's wallpaper helps remind me every day of my beautiful experience at Sant Pau Hospital. The Sagrada Familia is very impressive, but my heart was just totally swallowed up by Hospital Sant Pau. From above, it looks like a giant complex of ornate gingerbread houses. You won't find it on many Barcelona tour agendas, so I'll give you details about visiting the site later on in this video. In 2011, I had just finished doing a walk around of the very high construction boards that surrounded the Sagrada Familia. We really couldn't see anything, but didn't want to stand in the long lines to get into the complex. I wanted to go to Park Güell up here, but I got lost and ended up here at Sant Pau. What did we ever do without GPS? The buildings looked so interesting. I wanted to see them up close, but there was a big construction fence around the building. So I looked around and found out that it was 2 years into the Sant Pau Hospital restoration plan. I was able to join a tour. These pictures that I took are probably ones you'll never see anywhere else on YouTube. It would be another 3 years before the restoration would be complete. Take note of the cream-colored tiles on the wall to the left. Later in the video, I'll show you what they did with them for the tours you will get now. The architect's plan of Modernista restoration was to fill the hospital with motifs of green leaves and other plants that simulated life. But I don't think they had this type of greenery in mind. One thing I remember that our guide told us was that they used these tunnels to wheel out the people that passed away so that the other patients wouldn't have to see a dead person roll by. One of which was Antoni Gaudi, the famous architect and artist. He was struck down by a tram in the middle of the street. Looks like the woodwork here could use some paint. Tiles from floor to ceiling, even in the stairwells, made everything a lot easier to keep clean. Hospital Sant Pau was practicing up-to-date methods of sterilization. A lot of deterioration had taken place just in the few years the hospital had been dormant. Some areas looked pretty good, but showed a little battering. This one was a lot worse. Look at the walls and even the ceiling. All the tiles need to be replaced. Sant Pau, as a hospital, officially closed its doors in 2009. I took this picture in 2011. It must have been one of the patient rooms. For 600 years, the hospital was supported only by charitable donations. A huge amount of work needed to be done, both inside and out. It would be at least another 3 years before it would reopen to the public as a tourist attraction. But some of the buildings would become administrative office. A new one just opened up to the public in 2024. I'll tell you more about the many beautiful historic friezes that tell the history of the hospital when I come to the section on mosaics. I love medieval art. These 6 hospitals were merged together in 1401 to eventually become the Hospital Sant Pau, which serves Barcelona today. Architect Lluis Domènich Montaner completely immersed himself in the Modernista style. 11 centuries of art were represented in this movement. Gothic, Renaissance, and Arab are shown in the architecture, but it's the biggest collection of Art Nouveau influence in the world. They say that he turned his campus sideways so that the buildings would block the wind blowing up through the wide city streets. This architectural model of the buildings is displayed in the museum today. Buildings were divided according to the type of disease. Men and women were separated in different buildings, and it looks like they brewed up their own drugs also. And of course, all the buildings were connected by tunnels. An old postcard shows the completion of the administration building. It looks like the palm trees have grown a lot. Pau Gil, a banker, bequeathed a lot of pesetas to the building of the hospital, but only half the project was completed. Let's take a look up close at some of the building exteriors. Montaner was in charge of designing everything, including the buildings inside and out, the mosaics, and the sculptures. The ceilings are absolutely over the top. I didn't plan that, but it's so true. I have not read it anywhere, but this is my thought. A lot of patients will be either on gurneys or in bed. Why not make the ceilings beautiful? Look closely. Some of the tiles honor Pau Gil. The main statuary motif was, of course, flowers, but a few gargoyles got in the mix, too. Also, check out the rabbit, lizard, and other creatures in the mosaic below. Statue in honor of Pau Gil, the hospital's benefactor. Pleasant floral decor is around every corner and circle. Notice the flowers on the right side. These angel rings almost look like Art Deco, but Art Deco arrived a little late. This is a beautiful statue, but a little high up to enjoy closely. Large windows were one of the most important features of the hospital. Many artisans helped with the mosaics, but the architect Montaner did the designs and, of course, was in charge. Art Nouveau was a consistent style throughout the different pavilions. Heraldry points out symbolic references also. Notice the elaborate framing on this one. The many mosaics that surround the administration building tell the history of the hospital from its very beginning. The friezes are said to be in the style of Impressionism. They are very different from most other mosaics of the time. Each of the 14-plus mosaics are framed with stonework. The mosaic friezes were finished before the administration building was. If you love art history, be sure to check out stpaubarcelona.org. Fascinating side note. The hospital displays are beautifully done and so informative. You can do a self-guided tour or pay a little extra for a guided tour. The guided tour is well worth it. You'll find everything you need and a lot more than you'd expected here. So, if you're planning to go to Barcelona in the near future, I highly recommend Sant Pau Hospital. Then again, if you're not planning to go to Spain anytime soon, I recommend you enjoy my video. So until next time, eat healthy and travel happy. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free. I used to be afraid to subscribe because I thought that I might have to pay something.